Hello, welcome back to JonesCodes. Um, Today, as you can see from my other videos I've already posted today, we're kind of just going through some C# basics in Visual Studio. As you probably will notice in the description on my page, I am a newbie, like extremely new newbie to the entire process here. So I'm kind of just basically just making more or less a video sort of, I don't know, history of kind of things that I've been learning along the way here. So just sort of, again, putting things together bit by bit. So far today, what I've kind of covered has been the basic elements of C#, the .NET framework and class library, as well as what variables are, how they're, what they're made up of, um, kind of the things that as a new person I've been looking at in regards to variables when you first start to see them and utilize them, understanding their format and getting yourself to a point where when you see that format in a block of code, you should instantly have a comfort level with how to read it, and that being again uh, data type, name, and usually a value. Data type, name, and usually a value. Not always a value, but usually. So this is a variable. These are variables from the last video here, where we executed our first conditional statement, which was an if statement. It's a very one of the first things you'll learn when you're working with C# or actually a couple other programming languages that use if statements, conditional statements. Um, Whenever I think of conditional statements, I always think of like video games for some reason. I'm not even a video game person. Nothing against video games. I think they're awesome. I don't own any. But if you've ever played one, which most people have, you have to have an understanding of, okay, if I move a character this way or that way, you know, what things happen on the screen. And my guess is there's a ton of code that obviously goes into one even small bit of a video game after seeing how basic these if statements are. Um, so an if statement is a conditional statement that executes a, a block of code executes as true. But what if it doesn't? And so the next thing you'll typically will see when you look at any of the C# programming languages, when you're looking at if statements, is you'll find the if else statement. So um, an optional, like it's basically an else clause that can be specified to kind of execute a block of code when the condition in the if statement evaluates for false, right? So okay, if yada 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 is true, okay, do this, execute this. But if it's not, execute this. So let's take a quick look at something like that real quick here. So let's try something simple again. We'll stick with integers because they're, for learning purposes, I actually love integers because they're very, in my opinion, like I think they're even better than like strings to learn with for basics and visual. So let's create an integer variable. Let's call it um, let's see, we'll call it grade, and we'll say we'll give it a value of 90. Okay. All right, and then let's do our if statement here. If we're going to do grade is less than, wiggle space there, oops, less than 70, let's see, what should we do? If it's less than 70, we'll have the application do what? Let's see. We'll have it say you failed. Okay. So we have an integer variable. We named it grade, and right now, let's just say you finish an exam and your program is reading the answer, reading the information from that exam, and it tabulates that your your grade was you earned 90, right? So this could be like an actual program, an application, simple application. So it sees that. It has this extra block of code down here to sort of let the instructor or yourself as a student know if you passed or failed. Um, so we used an if statement. Grade is, less than 70. Our program is going to output you failed. Sorry, you did not pass. Um, and then we can use the else clause. Else, so right on, you passed. Okay. So again, this is a very simplistic, basic look at an if-else statement. Person just finished their exam. They got the program we created tabulates that they scored 90 on there, and our next block of code executes. Our conditional statement says if their grade that the student earned was less than 70, our program is going to say that they failed. And if, or else, which means anything 70 or above, we're going to say that they passed, right? So let's go ahead and try to execute this real quick here. All right, you passed. All right. So you can see as you look through most of the basic training videos or YouTube videos or different trainings you'll see through different places like SoulLearn or Code Academy or really anything. When you're going through the basics, these are sort of some of the basic steps you'll go through. For me, it's fun, and for me, it's very interesting, and I love learning these fundamentals. It's great actually because you'll start to eventually bridge it to sort of next level execution, especially once you get into Visual Studio and you can start creating, just like little apps for yourself even, and just you realize the power of something like Visual Studio and utilizing really any programming language. I mean, I know that I'm kind of focused on C# today because it's one of my favorites. I'm actually studying for my MTA exam, the 98-361. So yeah, I think it's cool when you can create something, execute it, and have it work. Or even if there's a bug in it, what it's cool about Visual Studio, there are a lot of helpful tools, and not only will it help you execute your code, but you learn from it too. So it's really pretty awesome. So, all right, so that's all for now.